20 years ago, my mother helped me in getting all the things that I needed to do in order to come to this country to study. She was very much making sure that I kept on track. And in fact, she got on the plane with me and traveled here and stayed here for 2 weeks to make sure that I was settled, that I knew my way around the city, the subways, and so on. And she even went with me to the first day of orientation at the college. And then she went home and left me here with my feelings of anxiety, feelings of anticipation, feelings of being in a strange place, but with exciting possibilities. And one of the things that I was looking forward to was winter. I had these vague memories of having fun in winter as a little girl when we lived in England for a short time. And soon after the New York breeze, the Siberian Express, whatever it was, came rushing down from Canada, soon as I stood on that LIRR platform shivering, I wondered, was it bad memory? Was it that New York winters were just so much more awful than British winters? Was it that rolling down snowy banks of the playground was much different than standing out in the cold waiting for your train to come? Or maybe a combination, whatever it was. As soon as the school year was over, I was at the airport on that plane to Jamaica, and I lived every summer day that I had off at home. But of course, August came by and rolled along and came to an end, and I needed to return. And it was a real struggle, pulling, sort of all your resources together to get on that plane and head north. And I did that for many years. And my mom may have noticed, because I don't know if I was really paying attention, that it wasn't, after a while, it wasn't so much of a pull to come back at the end of the summer. Because I had started to make a home here as well. I had familiar things around me. I had made my network of friends, found relatives that I didn't even know I had. I was making my home, arranging furniture, doing things in my own way. And one summer, when I was getting ready to return, in a conversation with my mom, I said something about what I would do when I got home. And she cried. Because she realized that now, not that I had given up on my Jamaican roots, my Jamaican home, but I also had home in another place. And in fact, in the decades since then, I have made homes in several places, made myself a secure, comfortable place, a place that I want to go to when things get really hard, a place even after vacation when I bring back and drag in that luggage, I sigh with relief that I am amongst the familiar people and places and things that I love. My own bed, my own little sofa. There are things that just make home wherever you make it. So when I hear Jesus' words in today's gospel, let not your hearts be troubled. I go to prepare a home. I know what that means. We hear those words usually at funerals, and it does bring us some measure of hope and peace to know that after death, there is a place for us. There is a place that we can look forward to know that we're loved and wanted and that we will be comfortable and happy. But this is also an Easter story. Think of when Jesus is telling his disciples these words. It is actually the night before he will die. It is Thursday night after the Last Supper, and he's teaching them. He has told them he's going to die. He has told them he's going to be betrayed. He has told them that he told Peter that he will deny him. They are upset, they're anxious, and he even tells them that not only is this moment a moment of upheaval in your life, you have persecution to look forward to, yet let not your hearts be troubled, because I go ahead of you to prepare a home. And I would like to share with you this idea that the home that Jesus is talking about is not just the home after death. Jesus is talking about the home that is in him. That as we journey through this life, we have our home in Jesus. No matter what the messiness of life is, no matter what anxieties lay ahead of us, we can find a home in Jesus. My GPS or my phone, I know not which one, they're all the same to me, understandable, but my GPS, as I sat in the parking lot one day after work and turned on the car and was checking my texts, scrolling across my phone were the words that I was 18 minutes away from home. Now, for a minute I was stunned because I didn't ask any questions of this thing. But I also wanted to know, where on earth do they think home is? I never told it where home was. I had no idea where it got this information from. So I actually went in to see if it actually knew where home was. And oh yes, it did. It knew exactly where home was. And I can only come to the conclusion that it knew where my home was because that's where I go in, every day. I head towards this one address almost every day of my time in the last 3 years. I think that is what home is with Jesus. If we are constantly heading towards Jesus throughout our lives, coming in to form and make and strengthen relationships with Jesus, then others will know that our home is in Jesus. What a witness it is, not just as a strength in our life, but to others around us, that we, in our messiness and our anxieties and all that is a part of our life, we turn to Jesus. We know where Jesus is. We reach out to Jesus to form relationships. May our home each and every day be in Jesus. And when we are called home to be with God, may we know that there too we are in loving relationship with our Lord. Amen.
Amen.